Hey, who'd you talk to? What's been going on? It's me, Mike Lepre, King Michael, legit fantasy football from legit fantasy sports. It's June 3rd, 2001. We're in probably the most boring time possible for the NFL, but somehow it's still not boring. And when you think of not boring, you think of Brother Ray. Brother Ray, how are we tonight?
Going on, King. Happy Thursday.
You too. It's a great feeling. Like, look, it's a pain in the ass to get ready for this show and to get myself in this position. But it's like once it starts, I'm like, okay, all right, let's have some fun. This is fun. You know what I mean? I enjoy it. Speaking of enjoyment, Genius Kev.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to talk to you. King, I was dying laughing with what you're saying. It's June 3rd, and we're talking football. And I'm like looking under rocks for things to talk about. So I hope you're going to keep us in line tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be me and Mastradamus. It's going to be me and Mastradamus mano a mano all night unless you keep us in line.
And I now fit in more since my hair is back to black.
Oh yeah. I hate to say I didn't even notice.
Back in black.
Mastradamus, Mr. Never Left, M1. What is up?
Do you know why? Do you know why it's Mr. Never Left?
No, I would love to hear, though.
Can anybody tell me?
Because you never left?
The car?
You live in the car now?
Only one person has been correct today.
What did I miss?
Today?
It's because I'm always right.
Put Mr. Always Right.
Hello, gentlemen.
That's what I would do.
How we doing?
I said that to my boss during my review. It didn't go well. I did. I'm always right about this stuff. Always.
Yeah, that's not a good. Hey, you're a genius.
Yeah, he's like, all right. If you're so right, why is your bonus 25% lower than it was last year if you're always right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry, Ray. What did you say?
Oh, try again next year, genius.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Thanks for playing.
So, football things. Let's start with this one. I read. These are the articles that you get on a June 3rd of 2021. It said Frank Gore waiting for right situation before retiring. And I was like, I have heard that now for maybe 6 or 7 years in a row. And it makes me feel like I'm stuck in one of those time warp movies where they go back, like either Bill Murray's Groundhog Day or they just made a new one that's like violent. I don't know what it's called. And then they made a funny one that's not funny. You know what I mean? Feels like that, well, right?
I think year in and year out, we see Frank Gore do what he always does. He's durable, 600, 700 yards. It doesn't matter who he's playing with. He's probably going to wait for a shot to where he can get 30, 40% of the carries, the ball. He wants a lot. He wants a lot of touches. He don't want to just come back and be sitting there on the sidelines.
Let me ask you this. Is Frank Gore not the best running back in the room, but the strongest and best overall athlete? Like, is that why he survived so long? Because he's taking beatings. He's a big back. Not like he doesn't take hits. So why is Frank Gore still here and still in this shape? Just because he's just what? Kev?
Oh, no. So that's a great question. He's definitely the smartest back in the room. I mean, that goes without saying. And he's got to figure it out. He knows when to join a team. He knows his role. He does it. You don't hear him complain. He just does what he's supposed to do. And like Mr. Never Left said, he's 600 or 700 yards. He could be, I don't even know, how old is he? 37, 30, something like that. He'll probably do it again this year if he gets enough carries. He's not going to no burst, no long runs, but he's also not going to fumble on the goal line. So.
There you go, Brother Ray.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage of having him on a roster, especially if you just drafted a rookie, is he's like another coach on the field. He's been there. He's been in every possible situation. He's probably one of the most durable running backs to ever play. And the funny thing about that is when he came out as a rookie, the knock on him was that he had 2 ACLs.
Yep.
College.
Yeah.
So they didn't think he was going to get through 1 year, never mind 18, whatever number of years he's played in the NFL. He has completely proved everybody wrong.
All right, so you just nailed it on the head, because what ended up happening is his workout regimen had to change for each ACL. So by the time he blew out his second ACL, Frank Gore was working out and keeping himself in such shape that he ended up being in the NFL still right now. Matt?
Well, the funny thing is, he's never been like a flashy dash. He's always been straight ahead, bang, and he's made his money doing that. And he's a bell cow in every sense of the word. Like, you really need a running back. You got a problem, he'll lighten the load. He's a good back. Even at this time, like, I would take him over Adrian Peterson all day right now.
I just think it's funny how he's going to be remembered, because like how we have to tell like younger people like what somebody was like, and like they have to tell us what someone was like. It's going to be tough to explain Frank Gore. Like, he wasn't like great. Like, I wouldn't say he was like he, blew the doors off great, but he played forever. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to rank sometimes when these guys play so long. It's like its own category. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that about Frank Gore. I wouldn't say he's great because he played long. He's great because he's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
He only had I'm looking at his stats now. I don't have them memorized. He only had one monster season. Second year, he had almost 1,700 yards. After that, he had a couple of 1,200-yard seasons. That's not bad. But I mean, he's extremely talented. But he's just it's interesting. He's only gone over 4 yards a carry once since 2015. But
he's probably been jumping around since then, right?
San Francisco, Indy, Miami, Buffalo, the Jets.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever won. Did he ever win a championship?
With the
2 playoffs. He only made the playoffs twice. He's been on the worst possible teams.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Hey, that's why he's waiting for the right situation. Like, he doesn't want to end up on some scrub team like the Bills were. Like,
no, he wants to build on his stats. He's trying to get up the rankings, is what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to go get tackled behind the line. He doesn't want to get hit.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's crazy, because he's going to be. He's third all time, 16,000 yards. I mean,
he's incredible. I think he's great.
Still gonna be hard to explain. I'm telling you. Hey, all right. So here's the second thing I read, and I don't know if it's because, like, again, it's June 3rd, and I'm getting ready for Bigfoot Con from June 24th to the 26th in Fort Defiance, Virginia. But maybe I'm getting cynical, because I've read a thing that said where the Buccaneers QB coach said that Brady wasn't at 100% last year. He said Brady's words to him when he left was, "I'm going to get my knee, get my knee fixed, and I'm going to be back in better shape than you've ever seen me next year." And all I heard was, "Old guy gets knee surgery." Hey, Brother Ray, explain that. An older guy, which he is, getting knee surgery, any kind of knee surgery at this age.
Well, let me just say goodbye to everybody, because by the time we're done with this Brady thing, the show's going to be over, okay? So, let me just get that out of the way right now, because then the show's going to be over. We all know why. But, yeah, I mean, you know how teams cover this stuff up. It may even be more smoke screens. Who knows? June 3rd, you got to be careful what you're hearing.
Oh, okay. I heard Tom Brady had the best knees of all time. I've heard it's supposed to be the most successfortal knee procedure ever done. I think he's actually doing it on himself.
He's the king of knees.
What I understand, he's doing it on himself. He's actually been I forgot the name of that guy in Alabama. That's an amazing the knee specialist who stood on the sideline and watched Robert Griffin get his career ended in the playoffs. Do you remember? He had the stupid Redskins hat on. The guy's famous as a knee surgeon. Like, he should. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen, by the way. Although I digress. But Brady advises him, from what I understand.
Apparently, this is what they said. Giselle knows a witch doctor that is flying in to perform some sort of like blow dart type surgery on Brady's knee. it's supposed to be 8 steps ahead of where everybody else is. It's like sleeping in a chamber. It's like kissing your son for a little too long. It's like things that make great. So I think that would be good surgery. What do you think, Matt? You think he'll be all right after the surgery at this age?
I think that we've seen Brady play and not known how severe he has been injured in many games because, like a poker player, you never give up. You never give anything to the enemy. And I think that if you give the defense even a little bit, they're going to come after you even more. They think that they're getting you if they think that they're hurting you. I think he's the best of all time. I think that he has played.
But playing on a bad knee, is that smart for a guy at that age? Knowing he's going to have surgery? And let's be honest, dude. He's that age. He's going to have knee surgery and get through it.
He loves even that moment because it gives him an opportunity to show the room who he is.
All right. But at what age does he get to a point where he can't just show the room he's Tom Brady? He's so old that his knee doesn't quite want to work well anymore.
I thought about this the other day, King. I thought about this the other day, and I'm being honest, right? If he wins the Super Bowl this year, I don't believe he walks away.
Really?
2/3.
Wow.
If he wins, I think he's gone.
Nope.
He walked
He
out.
will only go when he's dethroned.
You know what? Knee surgery will do something to somebody at that age that they're not going to forget. It's going to be there every single time. Knee surgery. He's going to have learned to deal with knee surgery. Is anybody getting what I'm saying? When we're old, we can't do surgeries.
Time
They
is
don't
undefeated.
heal.
Time is
Brother,
undefeated.
Yes,
It's
it
going
is.
to end badly. I mean, it always ends badly.
It has to
That's
end badly.
the way it
Unless
is.
Mr. Elway.
He's
But I don't
borderline
wanna see that.
alien.
I don't want to see that for him. I would actually rather see Brady go out as the really great prick, disappear. I don't want to see him come back next year, Kev, with a bum knee.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I think
It looks awful. Do you?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I would probably defer to him. You know, I mean, if he says he can play, he could probably play. Like Manning's last season, he shouldn't have been out there. That was an embarrassment. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. He couldn't throw the ball. I remember the game he broke the all-time record. He threw 3 picks, and he was throwing the ball about 5 yards. He looks like me when I try to throw a football. And they kept doing I don't think Brady would ever get that far. I just don't think he would allow it. I think he has too much pride, and he would never want to be kind of seen on the stage the last time looking like that.
Ray, what about you? Does he stumble out?
It's pride, more like arrogance, I probably would say. I mean, he's done everything that he could possibly do, but players like him, they're going to play until they're taken out. I think Master Thomas is right. Until he's taken out on a stretcher, and that could have very well happened this year. I think he's going to try and play as long as he can because egomaniacs need that. Once that's gone, I mean, can you imagine him? He's going to try and be a Hollywood movie star? Good luck with that, Tom. But no, I think that's what's going to happen. And I do respect him if he does go out on a stretcher and not take the easy way out and say, all right, I'm done. I'll just go, troll everybody from home with my trophies. But it never ends well. It's going to happen sooner or later. Again, time is undefeated. He's not an alien. He's not a superhuman. I think Pats fans, they need to make peace with that because when it happens, they're all going to be calling the Samaritans.
They're all going to be what? Say that again, sorry.
Calling the Samaritans. Is that even still around? I'm so old.
I think it is.
I don't think so. So, but all right, wait. I don't think the Buccaneers repeat. But if they do repeat, he's gone. I think that.
Hold on. Right? How do they not repeat?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're already in the playoffs, right? Hold on. Ready? They're already in the playoffs. They have a shoo-in for at least the division. There's not too many Titans in the NFC at the moment. Are you willing to?
A lot of teams getting a lot of guys back, Matt. There's a lot.
I think it's the Bucs and the Chiefs for the next 2-3. I called that on this show.
No,
I said it's going to be the Bucs and the Chiefs for a while.
Young teams like the Bills and whatnot will be knocking those teams out quick.
I think there's a lot of teams that regress this year. I don't know if the Bills are one of them, but I definitely don't know that if they're true or not.
Like it's hard to make an exact argument why they won't. But you got to remember, it wasn't all steamroll. I mean, they that game against Green Bay, if they didn't get that penalty for tugging the jersey, which I lost my freaking mind over, they wouldn't have got. They may not have gotten through. The game against Kansas City had no offensive line. So all I'm saying is it takes a lot to win a Super Bowl.
Why are you making excuses on why another team won?
I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying it's hard to repeat. And you
show up week to week. I've said, Mr. Never Left said many times, it's week to week in this league.
Let me know what he's done.
Mr. Never Left. Mr. Never Left said, it's a week to week who shows up.
All right. But, so, okay. All right.
And you know, every time I say Never Left.
Moving on from that, Ray, that brings me to my next point. So I have a problem with the Super Bowl where the Colts got beat by the Saints. Do you remember that one?
Do you really think Peyton Manning?
Wait, let me finish. You remember? Right. It was the year that New Orleans got hit by the Katrina. They finally got to play at home. It was in front of the fans. Like they were. They kept showing shots of the city of New Orleans watching the game. I can't explain. They never showed the city of Indianapolis. They just kept showing shots of the city of New Orleans. Now, Manning in that game was slicing them. I mean, he was like a surgeon in that game, right? The last pass he throws, he's not even like running or has to get away from somebody, and it's just a short hopper where the DB steps in front of it, pick six, New Orleans wins the Super Bowl.
But he was
At that moment, I thought they fixed that. They could have fixed that game, and don't tell me they didn't. They could have fixed that game. That did not seem right. That pass did not. It was wrong. It was the only one of its kind, and it came right at that moment where it could seal the game.
Yeah,
choked that bad. I mean, I don't think he did. I got to be honest. When the Eagles choked so that we wouldn't make the playoffs, I thought that should have been investigated. And then I watched the Super Bowl and I thought this could have been investigated too, just because of. I mean, I don't know. Ray, did you see it? You know what I'm talking about? The pass.
There is no way that Peyton Manning or anybody on that team would ever throw a Super Bowl. That's just not going to happen. The Eagles would try to screw the Giants out of the playoffs. That's real. That's absolutely real, and I agree with you there. But there's no way Peyton Manning would be involved in anything like that, or anyone on the Colts. They were straight shooters.
Kev?
I agree with Brother Ray. I don't think they would. I don't think you can engineer that. Like it's so hard when everyone talks about fixing this and fixing that. It's so hard.
You only need a quarterback.
Something like that.
You only need a quarterback. That's all you need in your pocket to change the whole thing. And where's Peyton from? Where's Peyton from?
They're gonna say, okay, Peyton, keep it close because it was 24-17 at that time.
Change the game.
Keep it close at 24-17. Oh, there's 3 minutes left. Now's the time. Now's the time to throw that pick. You had a nice run, but tonight you're taking a dive. Throw the pick now.
But where's he from? Where did his dad play?
Come on, that's crazy.
Where did his dad play? Where's the whole family located? I'm just being honest. So that doesn't like at all like have a trail at all? Really?
I just don't think I don't think Peyton Manning would go along with it either.
No,
I think you can pay somebody enough money to go along with anything.
Onside kick. Like the onside kick at the second half, I still remember that.
Yeah.
That was one of the most gutsiest calls ever. So
yeah, it was
to do that at the beginning of the second half. That means both teams would have to be in on it.
All right. I'm going to tell you, I'll just say it bothered me. How about that? It was definitely.
I'm also going to add that throughout, Peyton Manning is incredible. And what he added to the NFL is, doesn't even need to be mentioned. But he always had the knack, like Brett Favre, but throwing that pick. Always.
Well, Brett Favre ended a couple of really important games with interceptions. I mean, he ended his career throwing an interception. Like dude, you know what? That's one guy that I will forever say is overrated.
Unbelievable.
Like he was, for what people say, how
I
good
think
he
that's the
was,
first time I've come into agreement with you in like forever.
Well, there you go. I've never like I think interception when I think Favre. I think touchdowns and interceptions. I think both. And I come away with like a guy that I don't think I'd want like for my quarterback. He's gonna throw interceptions, especially in big games. Like he has. The Giants game, it's overtime. They get the ball. He's right there in the 40. He throws that same short hopper and went right to a Giant. I don't know. He's another one.
He's a tough one, but like I'll never forget the game the Vikings lost, the Bounty Gate game. He took a friggin' beating in that game. I've never seen a quarterback get beat like that. If that happened today, the first hit, half the defense would have been ejected. He got beaten to a pulp, and he kept going and going and going and going, and he finally threw that pick at the end, which is kind of Favre-like. But
and what year was that, Kevin? And what year was that?
I don't know. I have to look it up. I remember I was in Puerto Rico.
2011, 2012?
Yeah, something like that.
So everybody wants to say, like, Brady played in this, like, wussy league. You know? That's just,
Dude, don't get me started because I was looking at quarterbacks and I was thinking about, like, they came out rating the quarterbacks, the top whatever quarterbacks to 1. And I'm like, it's a weird number because it's not as many teams. There's 59 quarterbacks that count. And it's like, some of them I don't buy at all. Like, I don't buy their order at all. I just, not even a little bit. And then I went to the site that shows QBs that have been sacked the last 2 years. And it's like, those numbers show everything. Like I'll tell you the top 5, you'll be like, yeah, I can see why. Like, Russell Wilson has been in the top 5 both years.
Yeah, he's always up there.
He's running for his life.
Well,
Carson Wentz, same thing, both years.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, both years. And then Daniel Jones would have been, but Eli took the other 5 sacks. And if you added them together, they would have been back in 4th place again.
Yeah. But it's a type of quarterback, too. It's quarterbacks that try to extend plays. Like, Russell Wilson's had bad offensive lines, but he takes one of the guys the longest time to get the ball out because he's always looking for it to extend a play and make something happen. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. Like if you look at the time to throw, you'll even Aaron Rodgers takes a lot of pressures because he holds the ball so long. You can only expect so much from the line, so you got to put that into context also.
Or how bad the offensive lines really are.
Yeah, it's both. It's a combination. So if you hit both of those combinations, like Seattle has some years, bad offensive line, and Russell Wilson, who likes to run around anyway, because then you get horrible numbers.
I think that DK Metcalf would be a number 1 option on many teams.
Yeah.
I love Tyler Lockett, but he's not like that possession receiver. They don't have – I mean, they used to thrive on like the Will Dillesley, Hollister tight end set over the middle. Ever since Dillesley got injured, they kind of missing that like third element option. Their offense has just been sputtering. They need a possession receiver is what they need.
And a rusher. None of those teams have a 1,000-yard rusher. I mean,
Chris Carson.
Well, he's been injured. He's been.
Yeah, I love him though. Yeah, he's on my corrupted team. I've had him for like 3 years. The thing is, Seattle runs their offense like my dream football team. What they want to do: power running game, and then long passes on third down. That's and unfortunately that style went out in the '80s sometime, and that's still how I would like to play Madden and how I would like a team to run. But you can't do it anymore. They're like one of the last few teams that isn't built around 70% completion, short passes, and then the occasional deep one with a running game to keep you off balance. They're like one of the last holdouts, and I think Carroll needs to go personally.
Yeah.
You know who's sacked like the least? And this is like another one that I was like, oh wow, Drew Brees. Drew Brees doesn't get sacked.
I'm sorry, I'm in like a mood tonight because Drew Brees gets the ball so quick, and he couldn't throw it out of your living room at that point in his career. So he's by definition, the routes have to develop in about a quarter of a second. He just zips it, and that's that. I mean, he literally.
He also missed a lot of games. Like how many attempts did he have? And
Yeah, but even if you expanded him out the last couple of years over like a full season, he really gets sacked compared to the other guys because he does get rid of it. Like one Mississippi, two out. Like he does not even wait for three, right?
Yeah, I mean, the good quarterbacks do that. Brady does the same thing. If someone gets close, he'll throw it into the ground or he'll throw it away. That's self-preservation. That's a business decision. You know, like you got to do what you got to do. The smart ones do that. You know, the rookies and the stupid young ones, you know, they try to take that hit. They'll try and run for 3 extra yards and try and bowl over a linebacker. Not going to last in this league for long. So, you know, that's why Drew Brees has played so long. That's why Tom Brady has played so long. They know that they can't take those beatings if they want to start every Sunday.
That's why. Go ahead, wait, Matt. That's why whenever I watch a running quarterback, if he doesn't throw it away, I know he's doomed. That's how I've always based all my thoughts on running quarterbacks. If they don't throw it away, and they're always trying to make that extra play, they're doomed. Like it's just inevitable. There's going to be that one hit. Matt,
we had this conversation the other day, and honestly, I really didn't give mention to Dante Scarnecchia. It doesn't start without the offensive line. He's been the guru. He's probably going to be one of the best coaches of all time when it's all said and done. He, you know, even when he took a hiatus, the Patriots sucked. They couldn't do anything along the offensive line. They still had the same guys. You don't get to stand upright and do everything that you want to do without Dante Scarnecchia. So I would go with offensive line, Dante Scarnecchia as probably, you know, behind Ernie Adams as, you know, the team that started the Patriots dynasty. But I would say offensive line, Dante Scarnecchia.
Yeah, I love him. Absolutely love him. It's
wait. Ernie Adams? What does Ernie Adams do, by the way? What's his title? I was just curious.
He's probably, I would say, he doesn't have a title, but I would say he's assistant coach. He is.
So what is he? What I mean, I know he's retired now. He's stepping down. But what's his week to week? What's his daily? I mean, because
nobody knows, Ray. It's part of the.
No one knows.
He'll still be right there. He's right there.
I heard he likes to watch a lot of game tape.
And I know he likes the treadmill. He's probably, I think he's the first guy on the treadmill every day. I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, he looks like it. He looks like it.
Like the towel. I think he would wear the towel around his.
These guys don't stop what they've done all their life. You know, he's always going to be there. That's why Scarnecchia came back, and he stuck around for a lot longer than I actually even thought he would. You know, but you know,
he's been offensive line for like what 30 years, Scarnecchia, which is insane. I don't know. Yeah, something crazy.
Listen.
Yeah,
crazy.
Like 40, 50, 60.
Listen. Matt in his car right now. We'll just say he's in a good mood. Let's call it that. And then I got 2 cranky football fans.
I'm in a great mood.
All right, I'm just saying in general. Even Ray, like just cranking them out.
Oh, well, you know, we were just saying the other day about, you know, who possibly started the whole thing. It starts with the protecting the king and the offensive line, and as we've seen over time, that Dante Scarnecchia deserves a lot of credit.
But what Ray's saying has a lot of merit. What the hell does Ernie Adams do? He went through how many years where he didn't have a defined role and was allowed to do what? Like what rules did he go by? What was he not allowed to do? Because I don't know what he did. So
nobody does.
I couldn't tell you what he couldn't do. Right?
Art Modell offered when he was with the Browns and Belichick was there. Art Modell offered like $50,000 for anyone that could tell him what he did. True story.
Yeah. I think his background was he was like a municipal bond trader, which is probably the most boring financial instruments you could ever trade because it's like the town of North Providence water bond, the town of Johnston waste landfill revenue bonds. It's so boring. You just have to figure out which of these towns are not going to go bankrupt, and you squeak out nickels and dimes. You know, obviously you're doing it with billions of dollars, so it adds up. And then he supposedly brought that sort of financial analyst mindset to the Patriots, and he was supposedly one of the pioneers of football analytics. But what did he do on a weekly basis? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. But I don't. If you want to get bored out of your mind, go stand next to a municipal bond trader at a party.
I kind of pictured that he's standing around the building, Like, like, hey, how you guys doing? Hey, by the way, a quarterback likes to throw to the right. Nah, just calls him a couple of things. He's like, I'll talk to you guys later. And they're like, all right, Ernie. And they write it down, and then it works. He's like some idiot savant who just walks around enjoying the town. That's what I picture. I don't know. Could be. You can't tell me what.
That's all. You know who his biggest fan is, right?
Who?
Dave Evans.
Oh, really?
Loves Ernie Adams. Loves him. You can't say a bad word about Ernie Adams around him. We should ask him what he does. You should call him up now and ask Dave. We're trying to settle a debate.
Let's
what does Ernie
Dave
Adams actually do?
Somebody
ring
ring him
call
up.
him up. Call him on your phone. I'll wait. He'll answer for you. If you call him, he'll answer.
I'm not going to do that to him.
Dave, what does Ernie Adams do? And just hold your camera up on speakerphone. On your phone.
And he retired, right? So they lost Scarnecchia and Ernie Adams. It's all on Bill. All on Bill.
So, all right.
Thank goodness.
Here's my next question. Teams that have the best weapons.
Ooh.
Teams that have the best weapons. And like with everything that's happened in the draft, what do you think of when you think of teams that have the best weapons? Who's the first one that comes to mind? Let's start with Matt.
I'm going to be very, very flamboyant here. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a good one.
You know how I feel about Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins is coming into his own. Jamar Chase is going to make them respect the deep. They're going to be able to work. And Joe Burrow's not going to be like over playing Jamar Chase because he loves him. He's going to work those boys in the middle, and he's going to be good. Joe Burrow's not just an average quarterback. He's going to be very sharp. And now Jamar Chase, I understand why they did it. It's going to make those other two, and he said it the other day, and he was very, very, clear about it. He says, we need to be better with our deep passes, play action pass. We just were not there last year. It was one of the worst years for me with deep passes. And he gets Jamar Chase back, and I think it's going to prove dividends.
All right. Kev?
I think it two off the top of my head. I mean, Tampa, they have pretty much weapons at every skill position. Two tight ends, three wide receivers, three wide receivers, two running backs. Then I think Dallas, because Dallas has three wide receivers. They have obviously the running back. They have the two very young tight ends. So those are the two that jumped in my head without going through it division by division.
Brother Ray?
Yeah, actually, you stole the two I was going to say. I mean, Tampa Bay and Dallas. I mean, Tampa Bay, they're solid. They have like 3-4 deep at running back. They have the tight end. They have two All-Pros at wide receiver. And they have a bunch of slot guys that don't even get time. And we're not even talking about Brady. I mean, Dallas, the same thing. I mean, you put Dak back. They have 3 number 1 wide receivers. We'll see about tight end if they can address that this year. But, I do like the Bengals, too. I think, Mastradamus is right. I mean, I think they're an upcoming team. But then I look at a team like the Browns, who may have the 2 best running backs in the league in that backfield. And they have more of a system approach. They can put lesser guys in that system, and they can perform. If Beckham comes back, that could be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to go with, here's a shocker, the New York Football Giants.
God.
They have as many weapons as any of those teams as far as wide receivers, tight end, 2 tight ends, 2 Pro Bowl tight ends. Running back, they have the best running back period in the league. End the story. Just is. And they've actually got some decent backups. Other than if your hatred of Daniel Jones, that fits the bill, right? Other than Daniel Jones, everything else around him is like top level weapons. Galladay, Shepard, Slayton, and then the rookie kid, Tony.
It's a lot of unproven talent. It's a lot of unproven talent. I mean,
that's the thing.
All new, and
that's what all rookies are.
But the quarterback's a big deal too. Like if you have a question mark there, you can't put them at the top because if you don't have the quarterback, nothing works.
I think that you guys are going to figure this. Here's what the league's going to figure out, and I'm being serious. Once the Giants, and if they do, because I'm pretty sure that they are, from what I've read, because they're bringing in tons of veterans. Once the Giants fix the offensive line at all, enough where, like, even if what's his face might play guard, the guy from Nate Solder, they're literally going to put anybody just to make it as good as possible. Once he has a season with a good offensive line and those weapons, there will be no more doubt whether or not he can play in the league. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to unravel. That's how this kid's career is going to go, because he's never going to be the best in the league, but he's going to be exactly what we need to get us through. I'm telling you, the Giants and the Redskins are two teams that are both scary teams to play this upcoming year, because they have youth on both sides of the ball, other than the Redskins really at quarterback. They're going to be dangerous. I think the Eagles are the shit of the NFC East, and then I think the Cowboys got to really worry about the fact that the football team, and the Giants, they might be the best. But anyway, so the Giants with weapons, and my second thing with weapons was going to be the Chiefs, just because they do. They just got a lot of weapons.
Well, the Chiefs, I don't think that I disagree with that one. I mean, besides Kelsey and Hill are unbelievable. They're like nuclear weapons. But besides that, they don't have anything. They really
running
have
back this year. You got to give the rookie a year.
He was all right, but like in shutting those two guys down is a very difficult thing to do. But they don't have any. If Hill, I don't want to say it because he's on my fantasy team, but if Kelsey gets hurt, their whole offense will grind to a halt. Like they don't have any. There's no resilience there. They're in a much more fragile position than people think, injury-wise. And I hate to say it, but Hill, you look at him, every game, he's touching his hamstring. Every time he catches a pass, I think he's going to pull his hamstring. If you watch him, because his legs are like tree trunks, and he accelerates so fast, it's almost like he can't even handle his own quickness. But I mean, that's why I disagree. They don't have anyone behind those two.
I think Matt muted himself because I can't unmute him.
Yeah,
you can hear me. There you go.
There he is.
Yeah, it was you, dude. I'm trying to unmute you the whole time.
I was so mad.
So yeah, we just picked our teams with weapons. But all right, so let me run down the list of the 59 quarterbacks.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question first? That I just want to know if anyone heard it or if it's worth discussing. And I only heard it briefly, so I'm looking for some clarity. This is going to go at Brother Ray, because you know my opinion of Tua is not as high as yours. The comments where he said he didn't know the playbook last year. What is that? Smoke or substance? And can you talk me through that one? Because that would terrify me if my second year quarterback said he didn't know the playbook last year.
That's all smoke. There's no truth to that. I mean, I love what's happening to Tua like this offseason. I mean, everybody's coming out and doubting him, saying he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Hips 100%. You gotta understand that offensive coordinator they had last year. I was not a big fan. I have never been a big fan of him. They're going to be a different offense this year. I think he's going to be just fine.
So, all right, wait a minute. Tua was a rookie, right?
Yes.
All right, so he had like a shortened COVID season for a rookie.
No training camp.
No. So if I was a quarterback, I don't think I would feel bad saying that I didn't know the playbook. If that first year, that's just being truthful. That's just saying I only knew maybe 75% of it. I didn't have time to learn the whole playbook.
But that's not the way people are taking it, King. People are taking it that he didn't do the work. He can't grasp the offense. Played at Alabama. Everything was easy. He was throwing Jerry Jeudy. And trust me, this kid, I don't know if you've seen him in the offseason. I mean, he's working like a champ. I mean, he's great shape, completely different body. He is going to be really good this year.
Matt, unmute yourself. What do you think about Tua?
Even, like, say he didn't know the playbook. What I saw of him last year was enough to say he did a lot with little. Like, now, Preston Williams was kind of coming on as their one. And that's a lot to say because they don't really have a one. But now you add Waddle and Fuller, and you have Parker as your three. I think that when you ask me about Tua, now you tell me what toys does he have. I think that he's going to be A-okay because there was a lot of times that Miami won despite the quarterback position, and I think that he's like when he's going, I don't know the playbook. It's like what I always say, like these people, you're not seeing them at their comfort level because they're not seeing it at slow level where they can, decipher the game. What we saw with Tom Brady, and that's why I got so upset. He sees the game at a very slow, snail pace.
Time out. First, he said that Tua, he contradicted himself about Tua, which leads
I'm
me
just
to
saying.
believe that he was only telling that story so that he could get to Tom Brady. That's what I think he was doing right there. He's just trying to get. I think Matt is. You use Tom Brady as like I do when I tell my kids stories. So it's like,
No, man.
Here to me,
I'm just saying. When you see a wide receiver, it takes 3 years. When you see a quarterback and they're saying they don't know the playbook, I don't know where X and Z slot. I don't know where everyone is supposed to be. First read, second read, way too fast for me. That's what I'm saying about the playbook. When I think he thought it was a little bit too easy, and then I think it was a little too hard. But when I hear an excuse, I say work harder. But I don't think it's an excuse. I think he's saying the NFL was very fast. It's fast. I think it's a fast game.
Ray, you think he was saying that? Pretty much, it was too fast for him.
No, I think he was just saying there were a lot of factors last year that contributed to that. Again, he was a rookie, didn't have full camp. You have a new offense coming in with Chan Gailey, and Chan Gailey's offense is not the easiest offense in the world. So, yeah, I mean, if anyone knows Tua, they know that he works hard. If anyone knows Tua, they know that he's in the film room. He's got the playbook. He had the playbook after the draft. So I put absolutely zero stock in anything about that. I mean, it's just it's a June 3rd headline.
Yeah, fair enough. I think you'll know next season if you see him like checking out of plays and changing plays, you'll know he gets it. If he still doesn't do that, then you have a problem. You have a major problem if he's not checking out of plays.
I think we would all agree that learning a new system and having a bad offensive line, right, is not the easiest thing to do. Right?
What, Daniel Jones? What?
Oh, yeah.
Ray, would you agree to that?
Yeah, I mean, but their offensive line actually wasn't bad last year.
That's not who I'm talking about, Ray. This is all about Daniel Jones.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, he called it. I heard Matt call it.
Mr. Never left.
3 years in a row. I've never left. Call me Senor. Never left. Daniel Jones has had a different offensive coordinator for 3 straight years. A horrendous offensive line. In the first year, he's had the same offensive coordinator for 2 years in a row and over 4 years.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's Jason Garrett. So good luck with that one.
Okay, Tom Brady.
What's the continuity? But that's intentional.
No,
I'm going to start bringing it back to Danny. Danny dies. Ray got to talk about Tua, for crap's sake.
I didn't want to talk about Tua either. Trust me.
That's a legit question. I heard it and I was like, I got to go right to the source on
you
this.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to put the young lad around, talent, and see what you have with them before you disperse them. You got to
sleep on him. From a fantasy perspective, do not sleep on Tua.
All right, let's do
the right now.
Let's do the 59 and down quarterbacks because this is so.
That's a lot.
59 and down.
Yeah, 59th was Ben DiNucci. Imagine poor Ben DiNucci, poor guy, thrown into the team like all he did, right? And then he's going to be ranked as the worst possible starting quarterback at 59.
He looked like he knew he was number 59 when he was out there. He's like, come on, guys. I shouldn't be out here.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's like, I'm starting? For the Cowboys, I'm starting.
Yeah.
It would be like you or I if what's his name? The coach called. I can't remember the coach's name because I hate him. Called you up and said, "King, you're starting on Sunday." Wait, I get to wear the white jersey? There's a great picture of him walking off the field with the white jersey and the light blue powder blue pants, and he just doesn't even look like he knows that he's in Texas Stadium. It was awesome.
But it reminds me of the scene from Little Giants Like I could picture them going, all right, and then Ben's gonna throw it to, and he goes, wait a minute, I'm Ben.
yeah, the same name too. I'm Ben. Anyway, yeah, we can't do a minute on each one of the 59. We're gonna be here all night.
Here we go. 58, Brian Hoyer. 57, RG3. I wish I had that old podcast. All right, number 56, Jake Luton, Jaguars. Why is Jake Luton, a rookie, better than Robert Griffin III or even Brian? Never mind. Number 55, P.J. Walker from the Panthers. Number 54, Brett Ripien. Scott Rippen's. How does the name go? Ripien? Ripien? All right, Brett Ripien, the kid. 54 from Denver. 53 is another guy from Denver. I mean, well, he's 52 technically. He's tied. Jeff Driscoll, who's tied with Cincinnati Bengal guy Ryan Finley. 51, Garrett Gilbert from the Cowboys. Number 50, and you know what? Nothing could make me happier than this. Number 50, Dwayne Haskins. All that fussing about drafting him. Oh, they didn't draft him.
He's going to need that back, Brother Ray. He's going to need that back in about another 2 years. He's going to be wishing he didn't throw all that money away.
Oh, my God. 49, Tyrod Taylor.
What?
Number 48, Colt McCoy. 47, Allen. 46, Joe Flacco. Poor Joe, right? 45, Mike Glennon. 44, Mason Rudolph. 43, John Wolford, Rams. Number 42, Nick Mullins, 49.
I started him.
Number 41, Chad Henne, Chiefs. Number 40, and you assholes put a statue of him. Nick
Daniel Jones?
Dude, the Philadelphia Eagles are the absolute worst of worst. That town and the way they back up their football team, at least, Ray, I'll give you a 76 as a pass on this one. But just the Eagles in general, like, what dullards. What true dullards they are. They put a statue of Nick Foles, but not of, like, somebody that was actually deserving of it, like a Reggie White. You know what I mean? Or like comedians say, they get a statue of a 5'6" Italian guy who's only an actor, but not one statue of Joe Frazier. Not one. Like, they don't get it. They just don't get it. You know what I mean? Whoever gets to make the statues in that town doesn't quite get it. They're not getting the right guys. All right, we'll move on. Let's see. Number 39, Kyle Allen, football team. Number 38, C.J. Beathard, 49ers. Number 37, Taylor Henke, football team. 36, Sam Darnold. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Doesn't make Matt Rule look too bright.
That don't look good at all, does it?
No.
All right, 35, Carson Wentz. Jesus, man. How he is. Dude, the story of Carson Wentz, when you have to go back and tell somebody about him, that's going to be a tough one to do. Because you want to talk about just fell off the tracks. A guy who just literally went from a Pro Bowler to off the tracks. He's
a bitch.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Everything has to be right in order for it right for him. And when it goes south, he's a little bitch. You know, and that's it.
Yeah, would you agree with that without using that one word?
I don't know. I don't know enough to comment on him because I'm thinking about his seasons, and he had that one year where he was amazing. Yeah, then he obviously got hurt the two other times. Then he got paid. That was the last year I saw him. I don't know. Maybe he is soft. I'm just trying to think about how you would explain him to somebody.
Someone in the Eagles said he was shell shocked. He is absolutely shell shocked from the
been hit a lot
taken as a pro. We
saw
that with Tony Eason when he was a Patriot. It's before your time, Mastradamus. He had that one Super Bowl against the Bears where they completely destroyed him, and he never was the same after that. They're saying the same thing with Wentz.
Really? Okay.
All right. 34, Gardner Minshew. 33, Drew Lock. 32, here we go, Cam Newton. 31, Mitchell Trubisky.
I was waiting for him. I can't believe
30. Well, you can't believe he's that high?
I'd take a lot of quarterbacks over Cam. of those quarterbacks.
Number 30, Jimmy Garoppolo. Number 29, Teddy Bridgewater. Number 28, Tua, and I can't pronounce his last name, Tagovailoa. Ray, your guy came in at 28.
Perfect. That's great. Love it.
Number 27, and this can't be right. It still shows Alex Smith. Alex Smith's all done, right?
Yeah, he retired.
But they're breaking him what he guessed what he did. I don't. Number 26, Taysom Hill. Number 25, Andy Dalton.
Whoa. Andy Dalton is ranked higher than Tua?
Yep. Yeah.
Who put this list together?
Who did this?
A bunch of
NFL.com.
winos?
Did you?
NFL.com.
Jimmy Garoppolo can't be ranked lower than Teddy Bridgewater either. Like, what are we basing this on? Because W's matter. Like, W's matter. Don't make me start a.
The red rifle is ranked higher than Tua. Okay.
24, Daniel Jones. 23, Jalen Hurts. 22, Jared Goff. 21,
Hold on.
Ryan
Wait a minute.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Who was 24?
Wait. I like how we tried to skip over that match, Adamas.
I want to hear who's 24 and who's
24
23.
is Daniel Jones. 23 is Jalen Hurts.
That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy.
I mean,
Man.
that's why this list makes no sense.
What? I love this list.
22 is Jared Goff. 21, Ryan Fitzpatrick. 20, Ben Roethlisberger. 19, see, this can't be right because there's Drew Brees. 18 is Joe Burrow. 17 is Phillip Rivers. 16 is Dak Prescott. 15, Kirk Cousins.
What is it? What year is this from?
Whoa. So Kirk Cousins is ahead of Dak Prescott?
Yeah,
What year?
I won.
Someone's
You got three guys that are retired because Phillip Rivers is done too.
All right, let me
Alex
finish
Smith
this.
and Drew Brees.
Matt Ryan. 13 is Matt Stafford. 12, Derek Carr. 11, Baker Mayfield. 10, Kyler Murray. 9, Justin Herbert. 18, Ryan. 8, Ryan Tannehill.
Oh.
7, Lamar Jackson. 6, Russell Wilson. 5, Josh Allen. 4, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
3, Patty Mahomes. 2, Tom Brady. 1, Aaron Rodgers. No, it says who had the best 2020 season playoffs included.
Okay. All right. That makes a little more sense at the top, but okay, that's why those guys that are retired are still there.
How did Jalen Hurts have a better year than Daniel Jones?
Because he played in the playoffs. Oh, he didn't play in the playoffs.
He didn't play in the playoffs. They threw the friggin' game. They told him.
He played in my.
By the way, the guy they put in.
Hey,
Who was the
he
guy they
played in
put
my
in?
playoffs. He played in my playoffs.
Help me out. Who was the guy
There
they
you go.
put in? The Eagles. When they took Jalen Hurts out. He came in with the big white gloves, look like Mickey Mouse. Dude, like, I'm watching this. I'm like, you know what? I'm talking to my son. I'm like, we got a chance because Jalen Hurts might be able to beat this team, right? That's like our only chance. And then they take him out.
The
And I
first snap he fumbled, didn't he?
The first snap, the guy with the gloves
He
that were
fumbled.
too big. Yeah, listen, I'm going, here comes the guy on the court field. I go, oh my God, who is that guy? Why are his hands so big? I start saying, swear to God, I'm going, his gloves are too big. His gloves are too freaking big. They're too big. They snap the ball. He can't control the ball because of his fucking gloves. And fumble. And then later on with his big dumb mitts, he's running around and throws it in the if you can, your comment about Peyton Manning, all right, maybe they can't throw a Super Bowl, but they can definitely throw a game. And that kid coming in was like the sacrificial lamb. He was like that guy you feed to the zombies and then run. Like
he probably doesn't even really wear those gloves. And they're like, no, put the gloves on. You're wearing the gloves. He's like, I'm not going to wear the gloves.
Football.
You're wearing the gloves.
They really are. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to gripe about them, but they screwed us over there. They try to screw us over with the whole draft thing. It's like,
Oh, God.
they're really just pricks. They're a prick of an organization. You just
I'm sorry, I can't let go. I can't let go of the gloves thing. That kid probably lights it up on the practice squad. They're probably like, he's going to be unbelievable. He tears up the first string defense. You're putting on. He's like all excited to go in. Now put on the gloves. I'm not wearing. Put on the gloves.
I picture more as he's trying to run by the coach, and the coach gets the hand. He goes, "Put the gloves on."
Yeah.
I want to put the gloves on. And the coach is trying to
Some assistant coach runs over with the big.
Greased the footballs too.
Yeah,
Exactly. Have the footballs greased.
That's a whole thing we can do. We can have big gigantic gloves, like the guy having on Mickey Mouse gloves, and go to
Big puppy.
Julio Jones will be who?
Wait, before you got there. Put on
My eyes are tearing.
Put on the gloves.
And then coach brother away. All right, get one of our balls in. Just covered in Vaseline.
We gotta get one shot of the center's face, like
Yeah.
he knows it's going to fucking gloves. It's all good. Stupid gloves. Oh, shit. All right, I'm sorry. Julio Jones. I think he's gonna be a Patriot. I really do. I get a weird feeling he's not, because the Ravens are out, from what I hear. So I think he's gonna go to the Patriots.
Oh my God.
I think the Niners or Seattle could be a landing spot as well.
What have you guys heard? What?
I'm hearing the Titans as well.
Yeah, they're Titans.
I heard Bills in the running right now. I heard that the Patriots are really got a chance. That's what I read.
The Patriots really what?
Have a chance.
Yeah.
He really wants to go there. That's what I read. I don't want to see him leave.
I wish he would have just stayed a season. I'll go on the record as being, when he gets traded, I'll go on the record as being wrong about that. But I wish he would have just stayed a season. Because those wide receivers plus Kyle Pitts plus Matt Ryan one more year would have been so much fun to watch, because their defense is not even average. They'd have to, every game would be, they'd have to score into the 30s, like 37, 31, 30, you know.
I want to see him leave. I want to see him as a Falcon. I want to see him go out. He's the kind of guy, and the kind of class guy, like the Calvin Johnson. I want to see him go out with the same team, you know? Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot to prove this year. Last year was for him. For anyone else, it's a good season. For him, it's a subpar year. So he's got a lot to prove. He declined. He was hurt all year, and that's probably the reason. But his performance really declined.
Yeah,
I agree. All right. So, guys, have anything you want to say before we let it go? Start with Matt. Matt, you're up.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Who's that?
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Brother Ray?
Wasn't Aaron Rodgers number one on that list? We won't get into that. Listen, it's June 3rd, and we talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast. Nothing going on, but you know what? Fantasy football never sleeps, folks.
exactly.
It never sleeps. So while you're sleeping, I'm planning on finishing in first place, folks.
Not in legit fantasy football. I am. I'm Nostradamus, and I'm Mr. Never Left.
That's gonna be tough.
So you know I must be always right.
Kev, anything you want to add?
I was gonna say, you know what's still going on June 3rd? Basketball up next on legit fantasy sports.
I got something for you guys. If you want to throw your house payment on the Phoenix Suns tonight, do it.
Do it.
And I'll say finally, I hope Frank Gore ends up with a quality team this year. I really do. I hope he keeps chugging. I hope we get to talk about Frank Gore for seasons to come. Stay tuned for the Legit Fantasy Basketball. This was me, Mike Lepre, King Mike Gill, LegitFantasySports.com. Thank you for watching another fantasy football show. Stay tuned for basketball.